Hi everyone, I'm here to make a little burrito for my nursery bin, and they have never had watermelon before, so I've always been reluctant to feed anything too moist or anything too too much volume in that bin. So I call it my Cinderella bin because it's in my kitchen and it gets things we dust off the floor, flowers that have dropped blossoms. But I thought since we had watermelon yesterday, I thought we would give them a bit of a treat. And so I ground up most of the watermelon and added it to tea leaves and some banana peels and even a couple lemon wedges that we had left over from our fish and chips. And I've put them in used Ziploc bags, things that we've previously used in our garden for our vegetables that we've frozen. And I also reuse bags that we get other products in. So here's a worm feeding for my tumbleweed worm cafe. And so this is how much I will feed one bin in the cafe. And so I've put it in a bag that we got some organic walnuts in it. I've also got some in a cocoa powder bag and some in a date bag. So I reuse all of these things. Just make sure that you mark them in the freezer so you don't think that you're taking out organic walnuts and it turns out to be worm food. How I mark them in the freezer is once I've done up the little zipper on the top, I roll it around the worm food and I secure it with an elastic, and that marks that it is worm food in here and not human food. So that's what I did with the bulk of the watermelon and the tea leaves and the banana peel and the few lemon wedges. But I had a little bit of leftovers. And so I thought, oh, that'll be perfect for my worm nursery. So I had this tiny bit of leftover and I was going to put it in this toilet roll holder. And then my husband, he was going through the takeout containers of fish and chips, which are recyclable, so they'll go to my worms as well. And he found one more wedge of watermelons. So I'm going to try to do both, get this in here as well as the rest of the worm chow, but even looking at it, I don't think that's going to work. So I think I'm going to leave out the wedge of watermelon. And so what I found is a piece of tissue paper that came with some packing material, and so I just use it as a very thin skeleton shape to put the worm burrito mix in, the food burrito. And so I take the ground up food. I said that I tried to pick out just watermelon chunks for this nursery bin because these guys have never had watermelon. You make kind of a sausage shape that is about the length of the toilet roll. I'm going to have to work quickly because this tissue paper is dissolving as I speak. And so I just roll it up. You can use a paper towel, but again, try to reuse one that you've wiped up a non-greasy spill in the kitchen, so that you're not, you're recycling. You're using a paper towel that maybe you wiped off a wet spill on the floor. So anyway, in it goes into the toilet roll. The tissue paper is dissolving it as we speak. So there it is in the toilet roll. It's a little burrito. I'll probably just use this container right here. I'm going to put it in like that, and I will put it with this. And these two things will go in the freezer. And then when I'm ready to feed my cocoon bin, they'll come out of the freezer, and the condensation and the thawing food will soak through the tissue paper. It will be almost dissolved right when I put it in the bin. And I found that these toilet rolls, because of the moisture in the thawing food, they dissolve or unfurl very quickly as well. So after I go into the bin a day or two later, the toilet roll, it hasn't disintegrated, but it is certainly unrolled. And so these two things will get frozen, and I will give them to my nursery bin at the next feeding. So I thought you might like that little idea. It's a great way to give toilet rolls to your worms, and they will go in there, and you know, if you don't disturb it, it will also create air pockets in there, at least for the interim, and they like that, and they do like these dark little tunnels. All right, take care.